Welcome back to our Enneagram series, and today we are going to be talking all about type 1. We are dealing with the spiritual sin of anger. They're constantly dealing with the fact that they want themselves and the world to be perfect. But all they see are the imperfections and the failures. And on top of that, ones feel this obligation to do what they think needs to be or should be done. Actually, the better word to describe their sin might be the smoldering resentment, just because they see all these other people being so content, but they have this huge burden on their shoulders to fix all the imperfections.
So the childhood message for type 1s is they need to be perfect or they need to be morally good. The unconscious message a lot of them imbibed when they were younger was that it's actually not okay to make mistakes. Something that's really unique to type 1s is they have this internal voice that is absolutely vicious.
Why did you do it like that? You should have done it that way. Why did you speak like that? You should have been kinder to that person. You should have done this a little bit better. Like that was off.
Things like that. And it can be so bad that some type 1s have difficulty sleeping. When their head hits the pillow at night, their brain starts to review everything that they did that day, and they see all of the imperfections and how they could have made it better. Many type 1s don't even realize that they're torturing themselves because they grew up with it their whole life. So type 1s have really, really high standards, obviously. And they have high standards for others because they want the world to be perfect, and they want to be perfect, and they want everyone to be perfect. So when they see a goal that they can attain, they'll do everything they can to hit that goal, and when they reach that level, they have a different vantage point and they can see other things that are wrong that they didn't notice before. So they'll be like, okay, let's correct those things, and then they'll reach another level and a different perspective, and they'll see even more things that are wrong, and so they'll just keep going and keep going and keep going, and as you can see, that cycle can just go on for forever. They're really hard on themselves, but they're also equally critical of other people. But many type 1s are surprised when they're told,
hey, you're really critical.
because they're actually trying to be nicer to you than they are to their own selves.
The type 1s want everything to be perfect. They also want to be good. Some may have both, right? They might have both of these internal perfectionistic tendencies and also have these very social justice oriented bends. But some ones are split either or. Like, it doesn't have to necessarily be both of those camps. Many ones also crave a lot of affection, but they feel that those kinds of emotions are actually inappropriate. And so if you know one in your life, it's really important to show them affection when they don't ask for it first.
So in terms of centers of intelligence, we're in the anger triad still, and 1s internalize their anger. Anger is a negative emotion to them because it feels like they're not being good. So when they feel that emotion, they actually turn it against themselves, and so they'll bottle it up. But the thing is, a person can only handle so much anger at a time, and so that pressure will build over time, and then usually type 1s who are not dealing with their anger will kind of explode.
Type 1s, when they are disintegrating, they become even more critical of themselves and the world because they shoot to the type 4. But then when they are in a state of security, they actually exhibit the very positive side of the type 7. So they're more open to having fun and not being about like duty all the time.
I know this friend who is a type 1, and she was considered very emo when she was in high school and middle school. She cried all the time. She drew like very dark pieces of art, and she was just so emotional. To see her now in health as a completely different person was very startling to me until I understood the Enneagram, and she understood the Enneagram, and she realized that she was actually a type 1 in complete disintegration when she was growing up. Because now that she's in a place of security, she's able to be more principled and less emotional in terms of like the dark side of type 4s. So in terms of spiritual growth, the most important thing type 1s need to know is that they don't have to be perfect in order to be good. That can be really hard though when you have a really, really vicious inner critic. Some practical tips is to actually give your inner critic a human name. So
like Sophie.
Yeah.
Or not. I don't want to be your critic.
Yeah, so use a name to kind of humanize your critic and talk back to your critic. If you're a type 1, you're probably constantly shouldering the duties, and you're constantly figuring out like, this is what I should do, this is what I shouldn't do. You should try to separate yourself from those areas and go by yourself once a month, a place where you're not responsible for anything. Give yourself a break in that sense.
That is all we have today for type 1. Stay tuned for the rest of our videos. We are moving to a different triad. Yay! Thanks for staying with us in the anger triad. Bye.